So it seems like we might have another great year for gaming in 2024. Ubisoft recently released a new Prince of Persia title that they named The Lost Crown, and they also have Star Wars Outlaws under the belt. By the looks of what footage they released, it looks really good, and I'm not even a Star Wars fan. But going back to Prince of Persia, I was one of the lucky people that were able to get, an early access copy from Ubisoft to try the game out, and I should have some thoughts on it. If some of you guys don't know, Prince of Persia is like one of the oldest titles that Ubisoft now has. It started out as a 2D platformer that was developed by a company called Broderbund for the Apple II series computers. Yeah, it's that old. But kind of the whole Prince of Persia series became a huge thing worldwide when Ubisoft took over, and they created a new game called Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, which was already in a 3D universe, and it was an action-adventure type of game, and it received loads of rewards, like critically acclaimed game for best combat and stuff like that. And then they later continued to expand on the games with the games like The Warrior Within, Two Thrones, Prince of Persia in 2008, and then after the latest release, The Forgotten Sands, the game just kind of died off. Most likely due to the increased popularity in Assassin's Creed, because that game just basically became the adventure game for Ubisoft. But finally now, after 14 years, Ubisoft came back with a new Prince of Persia game, named it The Lost Crown, and it is back to the roots. It's now a 2D platformer. And at the time of recording this video, I already completed like 30% of the game, and I definitely have my first impressions already. The game is considered to be a Metroidvania style that I don't know what is. Let me Google what that is. So apparently Metroidvania game is like a mix of Super Metroid type and Castlevania type of games, where the main objective is basically to explore the 2D map, collect collectibles, and progress the story, I suppose. Although like I'm not a fan or a master of the games, the artwork of Prince of Persia and the idea that there's a new Prince of Persia game right now really won me over, and I decided to give it a go. And I will try to keep this first impressions as much spoiler free as possible. So talking about the movement in the game is super fluid. I am playing the game on mouse and keyboard, although the developers do recommend playing the game with the controller, but I don't have any issues. Basically, any issues I have with movement in the game is when I just press the wrong buttons, because the movement is really fluid, and if you do press the wrong button, it will register and you will go somewhere you did not want to go. So basically, you can just run through the map, do cool somersaults, just dash, jump, sprint, and whatever. And you know how Metroidvania style games go. You just want to get from one place to another in a fast pace, because well, it's cool. To use all of these impressive movement mechanics, they have also added like a massive map. The room designs are really good. They are very diverse. You can definitely see when you enter a new area. Rooms are very intuitive, I would say, because you don't really need to think where you gotta go. The game basically lets you know the options, and whatever option you choose, you can go there. In some cases, there are places that you can't reach at the start of the game, but when you do come back to them later, after a certain point in the story or after exploring a bit, you might discover that you can enter them now, because you discovered some sort of a new power that allows you to do it. Another great thing, and at least for me previously unseen mechanic that they have in the game, is the ability to take screenshots of areas. For example, you can't reach that ledge at the moment right now. Take the screenshot. You then later find out that you can do something new regarding movement, and then you can open your map, go to that area that you were not able to explore previously, and you can see why. The game basically is telling you don't need to go back to a certain area, because we will give you a screenshot that you can look at and save your time, which is a very, very good time-saving mechanic in the game, I would say. Oh, and there's also puzzles in this game, which can be pretty difficult. Some of them are pretty easy to figure out, but the majority that I ran into, they do take a bit of brain power to figure it out. I believe on one puzzle, I spent around 20 minutes, and I almost rage quit the game because I couldn't figure it out. But I finally was able to figure it out in the end, thankfully. Moving on to the combat in the game, I must say that the combat is also very fluid. It does not restrict your movement at all. You can slash while on the move, you can jump, you can dash, you can crouch, you can do crouch slides and stuff like that. You can basically create insane combos, and if you're able to get the enemies off of their feet, you can defeat them while they're still in the air and not even let them get back up. The only way the combat kind of becomes static is when you gotta charge those power-up special attacks, but I do get it. It is a powerful hit, so you do have to have some sort of a trade-off if it's not going to be successful for you. So there's also a wide variety of combinations. So basically, even if you're button matching, you're gonna get something. You're definitely gonna find some sort of a combination that will probably get that enemy killed for you as fast as possible. And also the biggest downside, at least for me in this game, is probably the weakest aspect of the game is the storyline. The storyline itself. It still has that strong Persia vibe, you know, it still has those like time intricacies that are usual for a Prince of Persia type of game, but there's nothing too intriguing about it. But I guess that might be just that for me. I'm not sure. Don't take my word for it, because you know, you might love that story. In general, I'm having a very good time with the Prince of Persia, because although like this is my first Metroidvania type of game that I ever played, I am planning on finishing the game at some point. This release just makes me wonder like what other video games Ubisoft has under their belt for this year, and does this mark the end of mediocre games coming out from Ubisoft, because there has been a few lately. But like I said, don't just take my word on it. Ubisoft right now has a demo available. I will put the link in the description below for you. You can choose whatever platform you would like the game. Try it out, see if you like it. You can buy it then, I suppose. Well, if you don't like it, you don't like it. So guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think about the game. If you totally disagree with my takes, tell me why. I would be really interested to know that. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. I also stream on Twitch. You can find the link and the schedule in the description down below. If you'd like to see me play more of this game, drop a follow there and tune into the live. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you next time. Over and out.